There's usually one Arizona adventure at the top of everybody's bucket list, and if it's not, they put it on their bucket list. It's the camping adventure of a lifetime down in the Grand Canyon. Now come with us on this Rediscover Arizona special as we explore Havasupai Falls. Welcome to one of the grandest adventures you could ever have in the state of Arizona. We're here in the Grand Canyon at the Havasupai Indian Reservation so we can see things like this. This is Havasu Falls, and believe it or not, it's one of the many stops that we have while we are here. However, before we get to all of that, there are a couple of things you need to know. So this is gonna be a 4-day and 3-night backpacking adventure into the Grand Canyon. So we have to make sure we have all the proper gear and material to make sure we're as comfortable as possible. Now there are a few different items that you're absolutely going to need that you might not have thought of before this kind of trip. A collapsible water jug, then you're gonna need some poop packs because everything you bring in, you're gonna have to take out. This is a solar charger that actually can charge all of your devices. So that is key. This is like a water filtration straw. So there is fresh water down there, but you wanna bring one of these just to make sure you can drink all that. And then this is a rat sack right here. So if you have any food, you're gonna have to hang it and keep it in these. Now this over here, this is all the food that we are going to pack. We also have some snacks because we are going to be hiking a ton. So I know it looks like a bunch of clutter, but now we got to pack all this stuff up into these 2 backpacks. We are filled to the brim, but we are ready to go. If you're flying in, you're probably either going to Phoenix or Las Vegas. Either way, it's about a 3-hour drive to get here, the Grand Canyon Caverns and Inn. This is where you have to check in and get your permits. Just know that in order to get a campsite reservation, it's incredibly competitive. I recommend reserving a campsite right when reservations open in January. Also know that it's almost $500 per person for a campsite. Then you'll have to stay at this motel the night before your reservation begins. So we're staying here for just one night. We're waking up incredibly early to check out, and then we have an hour and 10-minute drive until we reach the trailhead, and that's where the adventure officially begins. But we gotta wake up early, so let's go. All right, so we're back on the road. We woke up at 3:30 this morning, checked out of the hotel, and it was a really dark drive for a really long time and kind of dangerous. Lots of cattle and deer that might be crossing the road, so you got to be careful when you are driving. But we're trying to get to the trailhead, and then we got 10 miles. Ready, babe?
Ready.
We finally made it to the area where you park your car for a few days, and then we find the trailhead. So we're about a mile into the hike. We're going through a lot of switchbacks as of right now. However, that's supposed to stop and it's supposed to get a little flat. But my goodness, these views are already insane. I have about 40 pounds on my back. My wife Jenna has about 30, but the hike down feels a whole lot better than coming back up. Dave, how are we feeling?
Feeling great. Almost to the village.
Almost to the village! After 8 miles, you'll reach the Supai village, where you can actually get Wi-Fi and food. Now, they ask that we don't film anything in the village, so you're just gonna have to take our word for it. But then it's a 2-mile hike to get to the campground. But right before you get to the campground, you'll see one of the most iconic waterfalls of the Grand Canyon, Havasu Falls. We made it to the campground. We had to go a little bit deeper to find the perfect spot, but my goodness, I believe we did. Check it out. You like it, babe?
We made it!
So here we got the tent, the hammock, and the wife, who is cooking lunch right now. Look at that. Lots of people also hang up their clothes. Here you can also see us hanging up our food and trash so the squirrels don't get it. And there's also a freshwater spring for you to fill up your collapsible water jug or camelbacks. Now, it's time to swim.
Wow.
Havasu Falls is a postcard in real life. A 100-foot waterfall that is a ton of fun to swim in, and we went in early June and the water felt amazing. All right, before we go any further, I just want to let you know that there are actually multiple ways that you can enjoy Havasupai. The first way is what we are doing right now. You hike down, you backpack, you camp out, and you hike back up yourself. The second way is if you still want to camp, you can do that. However, if you don't want to carry all of your stuff, you can have a pack mule either take you or your things down and also back up. And then the third way, if you don't want to camp, you can actually stay at a lodge down here as well. It's not near the campground though. However, those are the few ways that you can enjoy Havasupai. Now at the other end of the campground is Mooney Falls, a breathtaking waterfall that's nearly twice the size of Havasu Falls. But there's one caveat to get down. In order to do that, we have to go down caves, yes, caves, and also a huge ladder.
So be sure to bring your hiking gloves with some grip.
Getting down and getting back up will always be slippery, so yes, it can be a little intimidating, so be careful. Oh, good job, babe. Glove 5. But the adventure doesn't stop there. We want to make it to Beaver Falls, which is 3 miles after Mooney Falls. Just know in order to get there, you'll have to cross multiple rivers. Some even get up to your belly button, but it's a great way to cool down while hiking. A little deep over here, babe. This is getting real deep. It's so crazy because we're down in the Grand Canyon, but it feels like we've gone through a jungle in order to get here. As you can see, the hike is amazing as you follow along Havasu Creek. Just know that you might have to climb some ladders and even do a little bit of bouldering. The only sketchy part was this one bridge, but don't let that stop you. I recommend bringing hiking shoes that you are okay to get wet and swim with. If you bring water shoes, it's just gonna take a lot of time to switch back and forth. Then after 3 miles, we made it to one of the most picturesque places I've ever been to. Beaver Falls. You can swim in any of the swimming holes that you see, and if you go early enough, you might just get it all to yourself. So Beaver Falls, absolutely incredible, a must-see in the state of Arizona. However, now we're gonna take it one step further because we are going to try to see the confluence. That's where the Havasu Creek meets the Colorado River. In total, it's a 16-mile round-trip hike in order to see the confluence. Lots of river crossings and views like this are along the way to get there. Now, we got mixed reviews from people about it, but we still had to check it out for ourselves. You might even see some desert bighorn sheep along the way. So it does take a long time to get to, so make sure you leave early in the morning. But my wife and I, we had a great time and thought it was super fun to swim through the canal. check out the water, how it goes from bright turquoise to clear to dark green of the Colorado River. That's the draw. You'll probably even run into people rafting down the Colorado River. Then, you hike back the way you came. Have you had enough fun yet? Believe it or not, those are all the stops while we're here at Havasupai. Thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of Rediscover Arizona. We hope you had a ton of fun. I'm gonna keep on swimming. An underground tunnel created by a volcanic eruption is probably the last thing you would think Arizona would have. However, up in Flagstaff, they have it, and it's one of the most spooky and unique experiences in the state. Welcome to a very unique episode of Rediscover Arizona. Hey, can you guys see me? I'm right over here. Hi, yes. Guys, we are in the Lava River Cave near Flagstaff, Arizona. And this is so unique. There is absolutely no light. You have to bring your own. So make sure you grab your light. Let's go hike this cave. An underground cave tunnel? You heard me right. It's about a 20-minute drive from the base of Snowbowl. And after you park, it's maybe about a 100-yard walk to the cave. Wait, all I see is trees. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This random spot in the woods. Well, let's climb in. This cave is the longest of its kind in Arizona, and it's so cool. No, I literally mean there are parts where it's as cool as 42 degrees even during the summer. Okay, so I know you guys probably don't believe me when I say it's pitch black in here if you don't have any light. Here's what it looks like without it. If you're scared of the dark, good luck. Thankfully, while I was down there, I found some fellow cave people, Ron and Debbie from Mesa.
He started looking for hikes that we could do, and who doesn't want to hike in a lava cave? It's very cool.
I've never been in one. I don't know where else you can be in one, but this is very nice.
Make sure you bring 3 points of light, maybe a headlamp, a flashlight, and some other form of light, because it's dark and there's a lot of loose rock. It's a little creepy when it's just pitch black.
It is, yes, and quiet when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to get to a point where you could either go right or left. Don't worry about it, it's all going to connect back again. But let's go left. The United States Forest Service says this cave was formed about 700,000 years ago due to a volcano erupting near Hart Prairie. Now it's believed that the cave was formed in a matter of hours with the lava flowing. The top, bottom, and walls cooled and solidified first while the insides flowed out, making it what you see today. So this cave is about 3/4 of a mile long, and it was discovered back in 1915. And people around the area, when they found it, believe it or not, they used this tunnel as a refrigerator. While you're in the tube, you'll be able to see some lava features like flow ripples, splashdowns, cooling cracks, and lavasicles. And there will come a point where you'll have to duck and walk to try to get to the end. Well, we did it. We made it to the end of the Lava Cave Trail. Thank you so much for... Hey, who turned off the lights? Turn them back on. Thanks so much for joining us on Rediscover Arizona. We'll see you next time. I'm getting out of here. Anybody who's an avid hiker wants to hike the tallest mountain in their area. And here in Arizona, the tallest point is Humphreys Peak up in Flagstaff. You get views from over 12,000 feet, so we had to try. If you live in Arizona, one question that's probably crossed your mind is, what is the tallest point in Arizona? Well, today we answer that question. We are hiking Humphreys Peak, and we're going to reach 12,633 feet. This is a 5 mile up and 5 mile back down hike, so let's do it. The starting point is right next to Snowball Ski Resort. Now we start the hike at 9,200 feet, so the air is already thick. Right away, you'll be mesmerized and surrounded by the woods. Bristlecone pine trees everywhere. And according to the U.S. Forest Service, these trees have some of the longest lifespans on Earth. So one thing that is highly recommended is to start this hike early because it's supposed to take about 5.5 to 7 hours. But when you do hike early, it's gonna be a little chilly, even if you're doing it in June like I am. So we're a little over 1.5 miles into the hike right now, and we've only climbed 884 feet. In total, we have 3,333 feet to climb. And also just remember that the air is thinner. The altitude continues to get higher, so you might get out of breath a little bit faster. So frequent breaks, lots of water. What's really unique is at some points you can see where large rock slides and avalanches have happened. All right, you guys ready to hike this? Just kidding, the trail's over here. Let's go. Yeah, you could probably hear my breathing. I know, it's not great, but that's because around 3.5 miles in, that's when things start to get steep. We have less than 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Oh my gosh, look at this. On this mountain range, it can snow any month of the year, so it's smart to check the weather before hitting the hike. The last thing we want is to get snowed on or to get hit by lightning in a monsoon storm. This makes the hours-long burning sensation in your legs totally worth it. 360-degree views at the top of the state where you can see the Grand Canyon, the Painted Desert, the mesas, and Oak Creek Canyon. We are officially on top of Arizona, 12,633 feet in the sky, and I tell you what, no better feeling. The views are amazing up here. It is breathtaking. We can check that off the bucket list. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Rediscover Arizona. Enjoy the views. The Superstition Mountains here in the valley are iconic with tons of outstanding hikes, but one that is the most challenging and rewarding is Flatiron, a hike that's gonna burn your legs, but also give you incredible views the entire time. Welcome to the Superstition Wilderness. We are so excited to finally be doing Flatiron. However, this trail is going to be tough. It's almost 6 miles long and 2,700 feet of climbing. Got to warm up the legs, but we're so excited. Let's go. This is an Arizona bucket list hike that has amazing views the entire time. However, before you get to the trailhead, you do have to pay $20 if you have 2 or more people in your car. Thank you. All right, back to the hiking. Do you see where we're going? We're trying to get here, the rock that looks like a flat iron. That's the shot. That's what we needed. This is a hike that I recommend you do with others just to make sure you're safe. Also, there is way too much boulder scrambling for dogs. So we're about 1.5 miles into the hike. I'm already starting to sweat. We started early too. So make sure you do that. But look at these views. There's pretty much no downhill to the top, so pace yourself because you'll need fresh legs for this, the Slick Rock Amphitheater. What are you doing? Let's go. Ow, my quads! The toughest part is a class 3 10 to 12 foot scramble up this wall. Now take your time because this can be dangerous, but if you're not feeling the main route, about 50 feet before the wall, there's a path that might take a little bit longer, but you can skip the climb entirely. But after you get through that, you're practically to the top. The burn in your legs, all the climbing and scrambling, now worth it because of the 360-degree views like this. Thanks for hiking Flatiron with us. Join us for our next adventure on Rediscover Arizona. Unfortunately, we can't ski during Arizona's hot summer. However, Arizona's premier ski resort still has plenty to offer. So I went up to Snowbowl to cool off and have some fun. Want to cool off this summer with some cool activities? Look no further than the premier place to ski.
We do have a lot going on in the summer that it seems like a lot of people don't tend to know about.
There's no snow, but Snowbowl is still open every day during the summer because they might have even more to offer during the summer.
Snowbowl is where Arizona skis, without a doubt. We are the premier winter destination in Arizona.
From rooftop mini golf to trampolines, rock climbing, a slide, you name it. There's tons of family fun if you're trying to escape the triple-digit temps for a day or weekend.
I think there's something for everyone up here at Snowbowl in the summer, truly.
But perhaps the biggest draw is this scenic gondola ride. So we're taking the gondola up to about 11,500 feet, and actually up there's about a quarter-mile trail that you can hike on and also enjoy the views, and you can see things like the Grand Canyon and downtown Flagstaff and so much more.
We are open through sunset on Friday and Saturday evenings for people to enjoy the sunset at the top, and that comes with a really great elevated sunset dining menu.
And if you still want to ski, don't worry, you still can. It'll just have to be virtual reality. Thank goodness the new revamped menu is not virtual, and yes, I can confirm it tastes great. For Rediscover Arizona, I'm Troy Lynch. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a ton of fun. Thank you so much again for watching this Rediscover Arizona special. I'm Troy Lynch, and I'll see you on the next adventure.